So create your own node. I'm currently on the node and clients, the Ethereum documentation, this tutorial section that is talking about how to create a node or how to run your own node. So basically, in this tutorial, there are different sections here explaining the system requirements, which was part of the things I mentioned earlier, that when you want to create your own node, you need to take note of this system requirement, because each platform have their own system requirements. But the first thing to do, I won't bore you with all that in this video, so you can take your time and check those things out. So but basically, all you need to do is to decide which of the clients you want to use. So there are different clients, like I mentioned earlier. There is Besu, there is Erigon, there is Geth and Netamind. That's for the execution clients. And then there is Lighthouse, Lodestar, Nimbus, Prysm, and Teku for the consensus clients. So we are going to work with Prysm and the Geth clients for the execution layer. So let's see how we run those things. So to get started, we click on this Geth so that we can see all the necessary setup guide that is required for Geth. So if you want to work with Geth, then you, depending on your system, you click on whatever installation works for you. I already installed it on my Mac. So if you're using Mac, you can click on this, and this should take you to to download the file and all that. So I've already done this in my own system. So that's all you need for that section. And then these are the different versions that are available. So once you are done with that, then you also want to do this for the consensus clients that we are going to use, which is Prysm. So you're also going to like install this and set this up. So if you don't want to install it globally, you can create a file, a folder, and then install it inside that particular directory. So just following what they did here, like create an Ethereum directory, have a consensus directory and execution directory. And after you've done this, if you are using Mac, the next thing you want to do is to like run this command on your Mac, and also run this command to generate your key. So I already did all of those things. I'm not going to repeat them again. So but I will be dropping the link to this documentation just so that you can go through it again if you have any issues. So yeah, I'll be going straight to following the steps like we can see here. Step 1, which is you setting up, like downloading it. Step 2, you installing Prysm. This is the command to install Prysm. Just copy this and put on your terminal. That will install Prysm for you. And then the next thing is to yeah, this is the next step. Step 3, which is to run a execution client. So this is the step that I'm going to show you right now. So to run the execution client, we can run this command by clicking on this and then pasting it over here. So depending on the execution client you want to run, that will also determine what you are going to put here, what I mainnet. So for testing purpose, I think testnet should be sufficient, because it's going to require a lot lesser storage than the mainnet, which have a lot of storage and history that you probably want to bring into your system, which might be a lot. So I guess I'm going to be changing. Anyways, before I do that, let me just indicate the paths. So this is where you put the path to your secret key desktop. So this, my secret key is on desktop and is on data, have a data directory, and the name of the file is secret key. So I don't need to do ./get, because I actually like installed it globally on my system, but you don't have to do that, especially if you're going to be playing around with different clients. So you can, like I mentioned earlier, you can just install them inside their respective directory. Maybe it creates like what I showed you here, you create a directory, an Ethereum directory where you have the consensus and the execution client. So inside this execution clients or execution directory, you can install the Geth, you can install the Geth software there, and then here you install the Prysm installation file for you to be able to interact using Prysm. So yeah, I've deleted that part, and I think let's try Sepolia. So let's try working with Sepolia. So if everything is good here, if I do enter, this should start loading. As you can see, this is like trying to fetch information. If you see this section here, it's showing Sepolia. So I'm going to create another terminal. So this is the one we are using to run the execution client. So very soon it's going to see it's looking for peers and it can't find anything. So now let's move over to the, now our execution client is running on Geth, that's Go Ethereum. Now let's try running the consensus client, so which is where the Prysm comes in. So that's like step 4. So this step 4, run a beacon node using Prysm. So we can do this and paste it here. So we also need to we also need to indicate the path for the secret key. So we're also going to do the same thing that we did earlier, and the secret key is inside this directory on my system. I have a data directory, and then the name is secret key. So yeah, we are going to like change it from mainnet to Sepolia and see how it goes. So sometimes this can take a while depending on your system and all of that. So this is us like trying to like run the Prysm, run Sepolia, running on Sepolia testnet. So, and then this is this guy C trying to boot and all of that. So now another thing you can do while all of this is trying to like sync together, because the Genesis data and that means, what I mean say is the consensus and the execution client is like sync together for us to see all the recent record or what's happening currently on the Sepolia network. So if you go to the Sepolia Explorer, every transaction that is happening there, what your local node is meant to do is for you to also be seeing those transactions also running here as well. So let's try something here. So the syncing can actually take a while. So over here we can try to, now one of the beautiful things about running your own node, like I mentioned earlier, is that you don't have to rely on Alchemy or Infura. You can actually add this your local node. This is the URL, where is it? You can actually add this your URL to your MetaMask and start using it. So you don't need to use Alchemy and all those other node services. So this is more secured and more trustless without relying on any third-party service. So yeah, let's play around with interacting with the Geth execution client. So if you do get --f, that's if everything is properly installed on your system, you should see something like this. And then with this, you can probably see the command you are looking for. So as we want to create a new account, we could do get accounts, or let's see what happens. Get accounts. So if I do get account, if it's not correct, it's going to show me this, that am I trying to do get account, and if it's a new account I want to create, there's also a command for that. So there's new, get account new, and there's update, there's import, there's list. So I can do get account new. So I need to add a password for me to create a new account. So I could just do this. Always try to remember the password that you have entered. So basically this is the public key that will be assigned to this my account, and this is the directory to where the private key is. So interact with the node, the get node, the get client. So what to interact with the get client, what you need to do is to do get attach then the IPC URL. So how do we get that? So come back to our get client that is currently running and check for that URL. So that will give us an interactive platform to be able to like interact. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. So we'll copy this URL here, and then we'll come over here, and then we attach it. And then if I enter, so I now have this interactive platform. So from this interactive platform I can do it. So if I do it, I will see all these things that you normally would see in a normal Ethereum front-end platforms, or maybe when you are making use of Ethers and things like that. You could all those things you do with Ethers, you can do those interactions here, right here on the using the get client. And so and you can do all of that right here on your terminal. So I can decide to say I want to get balance. So if I want to get balance, I have to do like x.get balance. Okay, so I need to pass in the wallet address. Oh, I think I have to go copy that wallet address again. So let's get our wallet address. So let's see. There's the wallet address. Okay, yeah, this is it. So this is going to give us 0 because actually there's nothing inside. So this is 0 command. I need to stop this and run mainnet here. Okay, so we are currently on mainnet. This is the mainnet ID, and then this is the IPC URL. So if we want to interact, we can still use this to interact like we're trying to do here. So let me end this. All right, so let me come back here and start this on mainnet, so and see what happens here. So if everything goes well, this should run and sync with what we have here. So this is currently looking for pairs. So once it's able to sync, this won't be saying looking for pairs anymore. So we are waiting for this to sync with the get client. So meanwhile, let's open another terminal to attach, like to interact with the IPC URL. So yeah, we have this. So we can do get dot. So let's not do get, let's do s. So with s, we see all these things that we saw before, and we can do get balance. So this is not going to actually like give us a good balance like we just saw. That because syncing has not really like happened properly. Sync is still trying to sync, so we might not be able to like get the correct information at this point. So that's why it's still showing 0, because it's not supposed to show 0. So coming back here, let's see what's happening here. Okay, looks like connected to new endpoints. Okay, this is cool. So it looks like our consensus beacon clients, that's Prysm, has connected to this guy, even though this guy is still showing looking for peers. But right here we are seeing connected peers. These are the peers that is connected, waiting for enough suitable peers before syncing, and then connected to new endpoints. So these endpoints actually is actually from here. Is actually because when you run a new get client node, it gives you an endpoint, so which is that one you just saw. So that endpoint is okay, this is it here. So this endpoint is what you can add to your MetaMask if you want to connect to this particular node. Alright, so that's how you interact with the get clients. All these functions here are accessible and you can pretty much interact with them similar to the way we did get balance. You can interact with any of these functions right here on the CLI, and this is our Prysm clients trying to connect with the get clients. So this takes a while. I might not be able to wait for all of those things to happen. We are on mainnet and trying the get client is still looking for a node that is still looking for peers that's trying to connect with this Prysm client. That's what you need to do to set up your own node locally. This is just the Prysm client, which is the consensus client, and the execution client, which is Geth, interacting together for you to be able to like do all the necessary stuff you do with other third-party node services. So, and if everything is going very fine, we add it to your MetaMask the same way you add any node client or any network to your MetaMask wallet.